So the question I'd ask to all these people watching, is this the person you want to follow into the future? An angry child with his finger on the trigger whose entire worldview is based on a lie?
Hello and good evening and welcome to the end of season 1, Star Trek Starfleet Academy, episode 10, season 1, Rubincon is over, but here on Live Long and Podcast, we're just getting started. Whether you're joining us live on YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, or catching the audio version wherever you get your podcasts, welcome aboard. Tonight, we've reached the season finale and the Academy has never felt more dangerous. Nus Braka is out there with an existential threat to the entire Federation, the whole galaxy, really. Nahla finds herself face-to-face with a vengeful foe who has a personal score to settle. And as the stakes skyrocket, our cadets and instructors are thrust into a mission that feels more like the last stand than it does like training. A desperate attempt to save everyone and everything they hold dear. This is your captain speaking. I am your host, Dave Mader, but I'm not alone. We've assembled a stellar panel yet again for this week's story, the end of this story. Coming in first time we're actually on a podcast together, beaming in from Thunder Bay with enthusiasm of a lifelong Trek fan. She's tuned into the heart of the finale, the growth, the breakthroughs, and the quiet moments of bravery that say more than any phaser blast. When the Rubincon leans into sacrifice and self-discovery, she's charting every constellation of feeling. It is Allison Whately-Doucet.
Hello, nice to be here.
Welcome. Nice to meet you, finally.
Finally.
You've been on this podcast, but we're never at the same time, so glad it's worked out. Coming in next, a man who's definitely been here many times. He's watching the finale handle emotional culmination. The choices that define who these cadets become, the regrets that linger, and the moments when courage means stepping into the unknown. If the episode lands its emotional arc, he's already on board. It is Adam Woodward.
Hey guys, sorry about the technical problems before, but I'm happy to be here. And listen, by the way, I got to give it to Chris, Worldmind. He done a great job in your absence, Dave.
Yes, he's been a great cadet master for me this season, XO, and helping out to host many episodes because, I don't know, Kevin and I and Jody, we've all been getting curling games on Thursdays for some reason this year. So it's been quite inconvenient from that standpoint. Of course, rounding out our panel, she's focused on the ethical threads woven throughout the finale, loyalty, responsibility, and the moral weight of facing an enemy who wants revenge, not negotiation. Our quiz admiral is ready for duty. It is Ashley Millard.
Hello.
Hello.
Dave, I loved the quote you picked for the beginning of this episode because I know this was written and filmed quite a while ago, but that quote feels very apt for right now.
It does. It does.
It felt like it was written yesterday.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I guess they would have shot it like about a year ago, maybe a little more, right? So,
well, when we were on the cruise, the Star Trek cruise in late Feb, they remember Picardo had just said they just wrapped filming.
They had just wrapped, presumably this episode, right? And it was at that point it was only a month into this administration. So, but it feels like a long time ago now. But it's still very apt. Of course, yes, we are talking about the 10th episode overall of Starfleet Academy, Rubincon, that came out today, March 12th, 2026. The story by Noga Landau and Gaia Violo, a teleplay by Alex Kurtzman and Kirsten Beyer, and directed by Olatunde Usansami. I never pronounce his name right, but he's a longtime Star Trek director, and they broke with the convention because they've been doing like one director would do like basically back-to-back episodes. Last week was Frakes, but now they've gone to Olatunde, so a little bit of a break there, but that's okay. And well, Nus Braka, he's back. He's ready to steal the ship, and we got
the show.
And the show, and the whole show for that matter. He's every moment he's on screen, he's there. It's hard to miss him.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk all about it. I haven't really talked to you three very much about this season because like I'm here sometimes, but we're coming in now. But I don't know how. Like, let's start with Ashley. How did you feel like this season went? This episode in particular, what's your feelings?
I mean, I enjoyed the episode. I have some nitpicks with it, but I've had some nitpicks through most of it. The season has been some real highs and some real lows for me. Yeah. I'm still pretty 50-50. I think like I would say I'm more like 70% overall. I think my scores are somewhere in the 7 out of 10 range, all combined, but yeah, there's been some not great episodes. This one was pretty good though.
This one was pretty good for me too, but not my favorite probably. I think that was probably the last episode, which I enjoyed more. This one was okay for me. How about you, Allison? How did you like this finale?
Yeah, same. I feel like when we were chatting last week about it, that the ideas Ashley had I would have preferred you as the writer. I like the way your storyline.
Yeah, I was very wrong on what I was predicting, but that's fine.
It was a very good prediction, and honestly, I would have liked to watch that show. It was entertaining, the episode, absolutely. But yeah, again, the whole season's just been up and down, and I would like to see more consistency. And then just with 10 episodes, they just didn't hit it, right? Like with only 10 episodes, I feel like every episode should have been, I don't know, either bigger or more entertaining instead of trying.
Yes, maybe grander is, like something like a bigger swing in terms of what they're doing. Okay, let's move over to Adam. What's your feelings on the finale and the season?
Well, Dave, I don't know if you saw last week's podcast, but Tarima's still living, and I'm okay with it.
Yes, that was good of you. Very charitable.
Thank you. But I was satisfied with this ending. I feel much more satisfied with this ending than I did with the Strange New Worlds ending of season 3 of Strange New Worlds. So, so all is not forgiven because they had some pretty poor episodes. But however, I do like last week's. I certainly like this week's, and my favorite was the backstory on Jaden.
Yeah, and that was even. I don't know. I know that was a favorite for the season. It wasn't my favorite of the season. I was lukewarm on the Jaden storyline. Although I think like in some ways it was stronger than some of these other ones. Episode 5 in particular was the one I didn't care for. That let's do all this Cisco stuff and let's do all this.
Oh yeah, it was dumb.
Yeah. I'm like, just stop messing around with this. What we've already established, unless you have a good reason for it, I guess is how I feel about it. I'm like, move forward. Stop trying to just call back and, oh, look, Dax is here, And so this episode doesn't have any of that, I don't think. I think this episode tries to stand on its own, be very much in the 32nd century, very much about those current events. And where they're going, right? Because I think like as we were coming off Discovery, and okay, we're in the 32nd century. There's been this burn. There's been all like this basically a century of pain and anguish and maybe questionable ethics in the Federation. And how are they moving forward into the future, into the 33rd century. You know, and characters like Nahla and this new generation of cadets that, you know, have come along, what, you know, how they're going to shape the future. And what I think my favorite thing about this show is the cast. I think that all the actors are good, likable. I think that they have good chemistry with each other, and I feel like, you know, give them the right script, you know, they're going to give you what you want. They're going to deliver. You know, but sometimes I think that they're not written the best, you know, in this first season. So I feel like they got, you know, and that, I think that's any show, especially any Star Trek show where you see like, well, who is this character? What are they about? What's working on screen? What's not working on screen? And especially in this new era of streaming, you don't even have the benefit of like when we watch Next Generation episodes, and those episodes, when they came out, like the writers and the actors and everybody else who made those episodes could get that feedback during the season they're making it, right? Because it would only be like they make the episode and then it would air like 2 months later. Now it's like they make 10 episodes and like it comes out a year and a half later. So if something's really not working, I guess you can go to reshoots, but like, you know, you're kind of stuck with what you got. And if it's
by that point, they've already written and are filming the next season.
Right. Yeah. And apparently season 2 is done. So
yeah, it is. Yeah, they wrapped on it.
Yeah.
But
it
won't be out till 27.
Probably not. And sometimes I'm like frustrated by that, but that's a whole other discussion. You know, if I guess like the post-production, the special effects, and you know how much it's adding, I sometimes ask myself, because I could live with a little less of that if I got it more, like stories were coming out a little bit more frequently. But let's jump back to this episode in particular. You know, we'd seen that this whole Omega 47 minefield that Nus Braka had put around the entire Federation, quite industrious, I might add, but really a cool concept, I thought, for something you know they hadn't really done before, about this enemy to the Federation that was, you know, playing chess with them. And that continued here, although it's kind of like just the threat of it. The USS Athena and their skeleton crew are kind of trapped on the outside of the bubble, the minefield, and no one can come save them, not even Discovery. You know, I feel like Admiral Vance is only there now just to say, no, Discovery can't be the MacGuffin that comes saves everyone, because it will do this or it will do that. But they have to acknowledge that they're out there.
Admiral Fancy
Pants himself, you know. What did Heather call him? Admiral Daddy or something the other night?
Well, Dadmiral.
Dadmiral.
We were calling him Dadmiral.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, I like that beard." You know, but anyway, and so anyway, it ends up here. A lot of the episode really focuses on the conflict between Caleb's mother, what's her name, Tatiana Maslany's character, and Captain Nahla Aki, played by Holly Hunter.
Anisha,
right? Anisha Mir. Who I'm still trying to figure out if Tatiana Maslany is old enough to be the mother of
I'll fill you in
Sandra Rosta, because I believe she's younger than us and Ashley and I, more specifically, and presumably Allison as well. But I feel like Sandra Rosta, who plays Caleb, is, I don't know, like 5 minutes younger than me. So I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, he's supposed to be 21.
22.
I have a 21-year-old.
So I have a almost 24-year-old. It's possible, sure.
Yeah, mine's almost 22.
I'm still trying to figure out the years, and there's a lot of debate. There's been, like, if you follow Memory Alpha and the wikis, as I do, like, what year is this taking place in? What year did Caleb's mother, Nus Braka, go to jail? We know it's 15 years ago, but 15 years ago from what? And when was Caleb born? And all that. So I don't know. This is everyone's.
I lost track when they came into this century or whatever they're in now.
I know. But I've been keeping track, and even we're confused.
So Tatiana Maslany was born September 22nd, 1985.
So she's 2 years younger than me. And when's Sandra Rosta born?
Oh, sorry, I wasn't ready on that one.
I can't find that information.
Give me a minute.
It's unlisted, I think, for this very reason, because they knew we would be onto him. but that's okay.
Yes. Actually, it is unlisted.
Anyway. Although, but I don't no shade against Tatiana Maslany. She's very strong, I think, performance in this episode. As always,
Well, they
She-Hulk
definitely
herself.
aged her.
Caleb looks way more early 20s than Picard's son looked early 20s.
Caleb looks like a Greek god. Okay, so
He
it's I
hasn't
think
done
it's just
anything though, guys. Like the first thing
No.
he did was snitches get snitches, whatever that is. It's a
snitches
short
get stitches.
stitches. Pardon me.
Oh,
In 21, and it looks like a puppet thing. So
yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's all fine, whatever. But anyway, the timeline, trying to understand the years, how many years went by, the amount of, I don't know. Anyway, so that's one thing that's always kind of rattling around in my head as I try to follow this new continuity.
wow, he was a giant then too.
Yeah. Like Jaemeel said he met him in person, and he is as physically imposing as you would imagine. And like there's those scenes, like especially at the end of the episode where it's Caleb and Holly Hunter on screen.
Yes.
And from what I understand, anyone who shoots movies and TV shows, they hate when there's this height disparity between actors. And this is about as extreme as it gets.
Yeah.
Put her in a
right? So-
hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is tiny.
Yeah, and he is a giant, so
Yeah.
it's kind of funny to see. Anyway, what else to say about this episode before we jump into the screenshots? Maybe the screenshots will help us follow everything.
Do you know what I loved about this episode? Tig Notaro. Like Jet Reno was on it. I was like, I loved her in Discovery.
Mhm.
She was I felt like they went a little much with her in the first few episodes of this show. They were piling on her sarcasm a little much. But God, she killed it this episode. I
would
loved
totally
every
agree
time
with
she was
you.
on screen.
Yeah.
Unlike that, like the one episode when they found her in Discovery, she had a lot of screen time in that one.
Yeah.
And then it was the sarcasm, as you said, a lot of the time in the one-liners, but great episode for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's thrust after Captain Aki is like taken off of the Athena. Like basically, it's Reno's in charge of all these cadets, right? And has to become the captain. Although she doesn't like being called captain, she wants to be called commander. Okay, but yeah, she's well written. She has these great moments with the cadets. She pushes them in the right directions. 10 out of 10 there. Like a great way to use Jet Reno in the situation. They kind of take the Doctor off the board in the episode too, given that Babel virus, like Lark's true thing, Major, or when O'Brien, Deep Space Nine all got that weird. We talk weird virus. It was
I just
like
watched that episode the other day. It's a good episode.
That's right. It is a good one. It's an early DS9 episode, and so they take him off the board. Who else? Lurathok and the Admiral. They're mostly out of commission for this. They're like behind the wall. And it's like the cadets in Jet Reno, basically. And then meanwhile, you have this trial of the Federation, the trial of Nahla Aki by Nus Braka with one juror. It's only Caleb's mother. What's her name again? Anisha Amir. And I don't know. I loved it when Nahla turned it around and said, well, what about the guy you actually killed? Because she's like, you took my son away from me. You put me in jail, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, did you not do something bad? Is that not what happened?
Yeah. It's not like she was innocent.
No, and she, I don't know. And so I'm having a hard time sympathizing with her because she doesn't seem to want to take any risk
with her. Yeah.
Yeah. I but I think they want us to some extent. I don't know. It's hard to say. Does anyone feel sympathy towards Mrs. Mir? Or maybe she's missed.
I certainly did not last week. However, she started acting like a mother at the end of this one and brought me around. Mm-hmm. So I'll take it.
Yeah. For someone who, she came around on this whole idea of Caleb and Starfleet by the end. So I don't know, she kind of got over it. Okay. He's calling you old, Adam. Maybe I wasn't, not directly, but
Justin, it's okay. I know it's been like that. And I was much younger 5 years ago.
Exactly. All right, let's jump into our screenshots, run through everything we saw. I think I got 600 here. Okay, so most of it's like we start the episode kind of recapping the beginning of the season, the backstory here, how Caleb and his mother were separated when his mother was convicted of being an accessory to murder, which she was, and theft, and anyway, and how Nahla is her devil. And everything, all the trauma, everything else here with Nus Braka going back to 15 years prior to the events of season 1 here. And don't trust him, right? And so we pick up on all that, and then we focus on the present day here with Tatiana Maslany, and she's face to face with Nahla Aki, who she is not a fan of, and rage ensues. She's pissed off, has to be restrained by Caleb at one point here, who tries to explain that she's not as bad as you think, Mom. But Mom's not so convinced. 15 years in jail has not done well. I guess she's not been rehabilitated in that rehabilitation colony too much. So anyway, and she broke out of jail too with the help of Nus Braka. Anyway, so this is all coming out here. Then on the bridge, we get the hollow message here from Admiral Vance and Lura Thok, who are explaining that they're on the inside of the minefield. It's impenetrable. They can't send any ships out. Discovery can't come, as mentioned, and where everything else. I guess I was trying to watch. I was really looking at this map at certain times and trying to understand what the hell's going on, and I guess so who's outside of it and what. But it was a little hard to focus on. Like, is Bajor not inside of the border? Inside of the minefield, Cardassian space seems to be over here, and I thought Bajor was in the Federation now, but maybe not. I don't know. Blah blah blah. Won't dwell on that forever, but you're on your own, and maybe with the Athena being on the outside of the minefield, they can help penetrate it, figure out what's going on, and disrupt Nus Braka. Oh yeah, there's this kind of moment here with the Vance and the mother. But the Venari Ral, Nus Braka's federation of pirates, who are not the same as the Emerald Chain, I guess, a different pirate faction in the 32nd century. They've tracked down the Athena. They have a plasma leak. So they're trying to get away through like a nebula, but the Venari Ral and their big spider ships are after them. And they're getting attacked. Their shields are down. And so they come up with this idea of they're going to hide the cadets in the airlock so that they won't be detected when Nus Braka and his pirates come aboard. Well,
they got the idea from the cadets last episode.
Yeah, because that's yeah.
Right, how they avoided detection and all these kinds of things.
Yeah.
And Caleb doesn't want to leave his mom, but his mom insists that they go through with this plan. So after they leave the bridge, the fight continues, and Caleb's mother kind of reluctantly agrees to kind of work with Nahla for now because she's kind of been thrust into the situation. So they're put into the airlock here by Reno. He says, "Okay, I'll let you know when you're coming out. Try to breathe small breaths and don't use up all the air right away." And then, this is the moment when Jaden says to Caleb, like, a warrior does not let a friend face danger alone. So they have a nice little embrace here. Caleb tries to apologize for the things he said to Genesis, and I guess it was to Remy.
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
Or he never got to Sam. He was about to say mean things to Sam, and then Sam just hugged him and said, "You're stupid."
Yeah.
But Genesis isn't taking the apology. She's not interested. Save it, she says. And just then the attack is from the Venari Ral is getting real. We got rocks and debris and shrapnel flying everywhere. It was a real callback to when rocks would fly across the Next Generation bridge and kill Riker. So they're going along here. I think eventually they get boarded here by the Venari Ral and Nus Braka, who beams right into her captain's chair. The hammied up commences here from
look at the size difference between him sitting in that chair and Holly Hunter sitting in that chair. There is 0% he is curling up in that chair like she does.
No, definitely not. But yeah, he's here to take it all, and then he sees
His two favorite gals.
His two favorite gals, Caleb's mom, and they have this, I guess, long-standing relationship. He helped her break her out of jail 2 years ago, he says. Again, compounding my whole confusion around the timeline and when things happened. But anyway, Nus Braka kind of throwing shade at the whole bridge crew, and Nahla was explaining that she doesn't want them to know the cadets are here. So she's trying to sell him on this idea that it's just her, and she was out here looking for Caleb's mother, and she only brought Jet Reno and the doctor with her, I guess, is what she's trying to sell here. And I guess he buys it long enough that he's here mostly to steal their warp engines and take her now that he's got her and Caleb's mother. Anyway, and then they kind of take them hostage. Meanwhile, the doctor is given like this instruction here by Captain Aki to I can't remember how she worded it, but she says something to him like, "Go for it, like activate the program," and that's exactly what the doctor does. He takes out his mobile emitter. Everyone, a callback to the Star Trek Voyager, in particular, the episodes where they went back in time to the 20th century, 1996, fought Henry Starling, if you recall, when he first got the mobile. He says, "I've had this for 1,000 years," but this was originally from the 29th century, so it would now be like
he's had it for 1,000 years.
Yeah, he's had it for the 1,000 years, but this would even be an outdated piece of technology by their standards.
Yeah.
Anyway, and it's needed for what they're going to do, which is basically like they're going to turn the ship into a big hologram so they can fool Nus Braka and the group into thinking that they're destroying the ship when they're really not. So then
Which
after
was a cool idea.
Cool idea, yeah. Like it was like, okay, so the Venari Raal, they pound the hologram, I guess, with lots of blasts, and it seems to destroy the ship. And they're like, good. Well, I guess that does that. The remaining parts of, I guess, the Athena. And that is our title card, which I thought was kind of a different choice. We don't get the normal opening credits that we do.
Yeah, thank God.
Not enough time.
Not enough time and whatever. So, but, we get the sense almost right away, this is a hologram. And they're not all dead, which would have made the episode much shorter. But they're still on fire. The cadets come out of their little airlock containment, and the whole bridge is on fire. And so Reno now is got to try to pick up the pieces here by putting the cadets to work. Caleb wants to go after his mother because his mother's now gone. He just got reunited with her, but Jet Reno has to kind of keep him on track.
This was a great scene again where Jet Reno shone, but as a teacher, she's also going through. Okay, what do you do? Bring them together. What things do you take? You attack first. Really, I thought just a great scene. And Caleb, he's acting like a little bit again selfish, like he has been, but that's how it goes. The doctor, as mentioned, has the Babel syndrome. He can't talk. He's talking in riddles, and he's been a little damaged by this whole experience, I guess, of being blown up by Venari Raal weapons. So Sam, who is now the daughter of the doctor since the 15 years they spent in that timeline, takes him down to analyze his matrix. Tarima's here, Tarima and Caleb, and they're making eyes at each other. We're still trying to figure out what Tarima's going to do. So at this point, I could, take her or leave her.
Yeah, I don't know. Tarima, I like her. I like her and Caleb. I think they're a good couple, but sometimes with what I'm what is your purpose? I guess her telepathic abilities seem to be her her contribution to the crew. But sometimes I just want her to be a person, just to do things don't just be this powerful psychic. But
a powerful psychic that has no power essentially, and it has made her emotionally stunted because of it. It's just all very strange to me. I'm not a huge fan of the character.
Yeah, her angst I struggle with. I'm like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? What's wrong, Tarima? Anyway. Remy, mostly his role in this episode is to be like the pilot. You know, he's told to like fly the ship at like 1,000 meters a second or something, like 1/8 impulse. But Jet says at one point he'll make a good pilot one day. So even though he has this aspiration to be a captain, you know, maybe he's more destined to be a Tom Paris.
He reminded me of Tom Paris in this episode. You know, phenomenal pilot, a little bit of an attitude. He's got a rebellious streak to him.
Right.
He's grown on me.
He's one of my preferred characters.
I found in this scene he was a little bit not more mature, but like he took hold of the situation, right? Instead of being like he always has these cocky quips, that he kind of honed into his important role.
Yeah. He's grown on me throughout the season. You know, and so I'm here for Remy, especially if they use him right. What else? Jet Reno's got to get Caleb focused because he's all upset. She got to keep all the cadets focused, and there's this kind of like this split screen moment where they're all saying yes, Captain, or yes, Commander, or whatever. But she's pulling the whole thing together. Meanwhile, we got the Venari Raal, who have stolen a big chunk of the Athena, the outer engines, and I guess I don't know. There's a part of the set that I guess is still meant to be that part of the ship. We see here that Caleb's mom is then confronted here with Nahla, and not great, but she's not happy with her. But then she's like, "Hug me. We can't tell them about Caleb. If they know about Caleb, this whole thing falls apart." So,
I think she didn't know she saw the ship blow up, right? So she probably thought he died in that because she didn't know the plan about the holograms. She
didn't know that.
Yeah. She knew the plan to hide the kids in the airlock, but not about the holograms.
And not about the hologram part. And she's filling her in on this, maybe to keep her still on side. Yeah. Right. So she hears that. She doesn't ever tell Nus Braka any of this, so that's good. Nus Braka has put a lot of graffiti around the set. And then he shows up with his two favorite ladies, and this whole the Venari Raal trial, I guess, of Aki starts here, along with all these holograms of different Venari Raal allies and non-Federation people who I guess are like, this is like the syndicate of evil, I guess, the Board of Peace. And they even have their own news network, everyone. The Venari Raal news network, with all these.
You guys saying that at the beginning, thinking about the administration, I thought like this is exactly like Fox News. I thought
Fox News,
it was kind of cheesy to have the cameras coming around, but it was also, I don't know, I found it added to that scene and the kind of grandiose play that he's trying to get everybody on his side. So he's making this a big event, and then all this news event with all the cameras going through to get all the other bad guys to be on his side and happy about what he's got planned.
And there was a lot going on too. Those like the headlines changed.
Oh yeah. Like, what do they say? The Federation is compromised. Leaders and civilians alike are trying to flee Federation space, signaling Federation weakness. Seems familiar. Oppressors mass their tyrannical fleet near our border at Beta Z. Will they seal their own cage? Anyway, then they bring in the mom. They bring in Aki, and this, I don't know, this trial, if you will, starts here. Nus Braka, kind of he's grandstanding. He's giving his monologues. He's talking about how everything is bad with the Federation, and he's going to tell you why. Venari Raal leader Nus Braka hailed as hero as he holds the Federation on trial for crimes.
Well, he was also, giving us his own little backstory too during this period.
Yes.
And his anger towards the Federation, believing that they forsake his planet and them when they were starving.
Right. That his father tried to fire some rocket thing. Will come up at the end here, and like that the Starfleet fired back and killed everyone on his planet. Mostly anyway. His father in particular. And so that his origin of why he despises the Federation is kind of all broken out there. And then he explains that Caleb's mom is going to be the one juror for like the trial of Nahla here. She's going to decide the fate, of what will happen to her. So we then go back over to the Athena. We got Remy and Genesis there. What's happening next?
This is
trying to remember the context of any of this.
So Remy's speeding up. He's going a little fast. And he gets into
right.
Eddy, the gravity Eddy or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she told him to only fly so fast, but he flew a little faster, and then he kind of screwed it all up, and then Tarima's implant gets kind of knocked over, and I don't know.
But that goes nowhere.
That goes nowhere. That doesn't matter.
Talking about it, but then nothing. I was like, maybe
they just want to remind us she has the implant, I guess, all the time.
We know.
I don't know. We know. We couldn't forget. So
it's always there, blinking away.
It's always there, blinking. She's always like kind of looking unsure of herself. She's afraid she's going to.
She's upset.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, Remy was kind of dumb, but Jet Reno comes up and she has this kind of moment here with Remy where she's like, yeah, I probably would have done that same stupid thing you just did. Like I crashed 3 shuttles when I was younger too. So, seeing some of that in them, but not encouraging it, like saying like, this you can wreck a whole shuttle, a whole ship if you're not being smart about it.
Just follow directions. Follow orders.
And you'll be fine, probably. So, anyway. So Jet Reno has to leave, and then Genesis is given the con. She's put in the captain's chair. Tarima looks over approvingly.
This is my nitpick with the episode.
Okay.
She sits down in this chair. She has been her whole arc through this. We didn't get a backstory for her. Her whole arc through this has been sitting down in this chair. And then the first words she says when she sits down in the chair is, I think I need to pee. The fuck is that writing? That's the worst thing I've ever heard. I thought there would be nothing worse than Laura Thok saying dumpster fire. That if they had uttered that phrase on Lower Decks, I would have been pissed off. Like, we have this epic courthouse stuff and the ship possibly exploding, and then they put that in. Awful. I hated it.
I agree with you. She's like a strong character, and then
yes,
like she should have had like a hit it kind of line, something engaged or something.
There's no reason why that character would have done that. It was so out of left field, and I rolled my eyes. Like, I was like, that's the stupidest thing they could have put in there for her to say.
Well, if you didn't like it, then I definitely didn't like it, because I was like, well, I don't know what that's for, but anyway, yeah, her whole backstory, her arc, if you like, she's an admiral's daughter. That's what and she's living in his shadow, I guess, to an extent.
Yeah.
But we never even meet him, so it's kind of like it's a little hard to put. Yeah,
she never got her backstory episode.
No, not like on screen. Like, it's only been told to us in dialogue, so it's whatever. She'll be a captain one day. Cool. But, it's.
I feel like it's their way to kind of bring her back to like, she's just a kid kind of thing. But I agree. It was not necessary. She's a strong character. It shouldn't have been that.
Yeah, I think it was very out of character.
Yeah. Anyway, back to this whole Federation Nahla Aki trial here with all the fire going on in the background and the graffiti and everything else. More here from Nus Braka, telling his story. Is this where he's telling his story about his planet and his colony? It's hard to remember everything. He has a whole bunch of scenes where he's hamming it up. Well,
it must be because it says the true Nus Braka story. More at 2100.
Yeah, more at 2100. Yeah. I like their propaganda machine. He's got, he tells, I think he's telling the story about how she recruited Caleb and put him in a Starfleet uniform. And like, just really Anything you could get to get Caleb's mom even more upset with Nahla.
Yeah.
He's just piling it all on. He's like, remember this,
Yeah,
remember this.
You told him it was Starfleet or prison, and he didn't have a choice, and he didn't want to be there, just to piss off Caleb's mom.
Yeah, because
she's Nahla, so, she did say yes, that's what I did.
Yeah, she did. She said, yeah, that's exactly.
She didn't lie about any of it, but yeah, she was like, I could have let him die in prison, or I could get him out, and I got him out and put him in Starfleet. So I don't know. Probably not selling his mother on this thing, who has this bias, if you will.
Yeah.
Anyway, meanwhile, Caleb is down here. There's this whole scene back on Athena with Caleb and Jet Reno, where she kind of says like, you could have ran off with your mom, right? Back on the planet in the last episode. You stayed around and why'd you save your friends? And he's like, well, that's what anyone would do. And she goes, I've lived in 2 centuries, 2 very different centuries, and that's not what everyone would do. A lot of people would not have done that.
But to set this up, he also was really, talking really negative about himself. I'm just a piece of shit.
Yeah. He was kind of like, oh, I suck, and all people, all my friends hate me, and and I don't know who I am. And Jet Reno's like, I know who you are. I can see that. Even if you're a little bit of a mopey guy sometimes who gets down, right? And that's and that being part of Starfleet and being what he's found over this season matters to him, And I think all that works really well in the scene, and it's a nice moment. Is there anything else before they keep going here? Then we come back to the trial. More of this. What does the headline say? Federation oppression has been cut off from the rest of the quadrant as Venari Raw heroes block Starfleet occupation. Okay. Well, I guess there's a spin on anything.
Yeah, he's I'm not sure if it's this scene exactly, but during the trial, he's going off about the decisions that Starfleet made during the burn and how they wouldn't help everyone. And she's explaining that, we had to help the people that needed it the most, like that we had to weigh the humanitarian effort. But she's like, you guys were a mining colony, you had something, and a lot of these other planets didn't, and we had to help them first.
Right.
That's leadership. I love that. That's leadership.
Yeah.
Well, Caleb's mom not completely buying it throughout all of this. We are joined by another. Hello, sir.
Salutations.
Jaemeel of House Clog. Welcome, sir. Glad to have you with us. You can see where we are in the episode.
I do.
She-Hulk herself saying, "What the hell did you do to my son?" Put him in a Starfleet uniform.
Propaganda.
Paul Giamatti's got this twirled up mustache. He's literally a mustache.
Oh, I
twirling.
love it. Yeah.
He's got a real I don't know who I'm thinking of. Colonel Sanders, maybe? Vibe going on. Something like that. Old time. Anyway.
Mississauga's own Colonel Sanders?
Yes, Mississauga's own.
Mississauga's own. Saskatchewan's own. Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the scene back here where they're calling up that the doctor's holographic program is still malfunctioning, and Remy says to Genesis, like, you need to go down and help Sam. She needs you right now. Although Genesis Genesis and Sam have some friction. They got some static there. So anyway, Remy's left in command here as Genesis goes down to see what she can do. This is down in the Chancellor's office. And the doctor is still malfunctioning. Jaden and Sam trying their best, but he's still talking in gibberish. And then we immediately get into Sam is pissed off at Genesis, coming off of like, you don't know me anymore. I'm a whole new person, don't you know? And Genesis has to apologize for a bunch of things she didn't do, but it's whatever. Sam's decided she has an axe to grind with Genesis. that and then she's like, no, I'm sorry, whatever. I I don't feel like that. And
But to be fair to Sam, Sam is looking at information from not a direct point of view, but like a third person point of view. So Sam 1.0 acted a certain way, and Genesis reacted based upon how that 1.0 was acting. 2.0, with greater context, feels that okay, she was treated like a child, and was used, and right, and I don't think that's fair, right? But
No.
I can understand why Sam feels that way.
I get it. Like, but there's just been the conflicts they try to create between these characters. Sometimes they don't quite hit for me because I'm like, I think that they wouldn't necessarily fight like this. It feels a little forced. And then the reconciliations are even more forced, right? Like they get over it very fast and they move on very fast. So,
I feel in today's teenagers, I think this is spot on.
Okay, maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, but
TikTok days.
yeah. Anyway, they don't have time for this to go on forever, so they got to get along here. And then it's they start speaking in their languages to each other again by the the reconciliation here, and then that's Jaden gets the epiphany of like, you can speak to each other in a different language. What if the doctor is trying to speak in some kind of a code for reasons unexplained? But what if he was? And then he was like, yes, that's right. That's exactly what I've been trying to do. You can't cross the Rubincon.
Finkel is Einhorn. Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel, yes.
You have glue on your shoes.
And they're like, what? He was like, if you could just follow my weird metaphors, you're gonna figure out the MacGuffin that's going to solve the day. And that's pretty much exactly what happens. That they figure, what is it that they can't cross the minefield? They can't cross the Rubincon? What is the metaphor?
There's two different kinds of particles. There's the gluons.
Right, the gluons.
Which is him talking about the glue on his shoe, and then there's the what was it?
Rubicon.
No, but it wasn't it was that was
maybe
the
they'll
name
show
of
it here.
Yeah, it was a certain type of. Anyway, they had to reduce the Rubincon ones, and then so that the gluons could increase, and that would stabilize the mines.
Thank you for the,
Of
course.
Yeah, like
yes. So they come up to explain this here. Although, just while we're on this map, who the heck are the Sarothens? I need to know with them now. Next year. Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, that would have been on the old side of the old Romulan space. So that I guess they wouldn't have crossed over there too much back in the day. Anyway, so they're coming up with this plan, and they're going to come up with this way of neutralizing all the Omega-47 in the minefield using an algorithm that Sam is going to create and cook up with her crazy engineering abilities. To get the gluons.
Rubin particle.
The Rubin, that's the Rubincon, I guess,
yes.
if you will.
Which is more powerful than the clay particles, the clay Aiken particles.
That's right. Rubin stuttered.
Yes, Rubin stuttered.
American Idol 2 callback. Anyway, so they're coming up with all this like, this is how we're gonna take down the minefield. They're coming up with the plan, but they got to find Nus Braka first. I guess that is the bigger challenge here,
and the correct concentration.
Correct concentration. So they have an idea of what star system he could be in, I think, but they're like, there are a lot of places in that star system that he could be, and that doesn't really narrow it down enough. From there to there.
Yeah, they have to figure out which moon he's on or whatever.
Yeah, they know they can go in and use this gas giant to probably hide, and all this is part of the initial plan. But ultimately, this has to come down to Terima. She her that Caleb says, "Do you trust me?" to her, because he thinks that, and correctly, that's his theories. Like he, working with his connection to his mother and using her psychic abilities, they can find her. But first, they have to go into their dreamscape together.
Okay, you know what? As you're
Caleb's
going
mind
through this again,
palace.
I'm not liking this now.
As I'm explaining the episode
As
to
you're
you,
explaining it to me now, and I just had watched it an hour ago. This is not what I like anymore. We can move on.
okay.
Skip this.
Well, it's a
Walking through
room.
the hydrangeas again.
The room of flowers. Yeah, I don't know. It's fine.
I didn't think this scene was bad. I thought this scene was.
It wasn't bad until Dave started talking about it again.
Do you want to explain the scene? It's all good.
No.
I'm
just joking around.
yeah,
Use the connection to delve into his feelings, to find his mom, and then she was able to find some way to position in space where her feelings were at, like sonar, to detail where the location of where his mother is at, so they can put in the location.
like she would have to be
a whale.
He called her a whale. He did call her a whale, with the sonar, but, in a metaphoric sense. But he's the one who says, like, you think of this ability you have as a curse. Everyone's been telling you it's a curse your whole life. What if you look at it as like a gift and embrace it, right? And I was like, has no one ever considered that before? But okay, sure. And
No
she's
one that
like,
she listened to.
no one she listened to.
Yeah.
Was he-
In typical teen fashion, no one that she listened to.
Yeah.
If Deanna Troy was still around, she would have gotten through to her.
True.
It could have
True.
also been the fact that he's realizing that, he's got to break away from his mom and maybe go with the girl that loves him.
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah, maybe grow up, I guess, is part
Yes.
of like the part of it, right? And his connection, his friends, his love, his life, it's not just about his mom. Did someone hit full screen on me there? There you go. Anyway, so
Well, he's coming to a head, right? He found his mom, and like that was all he wanted, was to find his mom, and now she's here. He's like, oh, now the decision, like we kind of talked about last week, about he has to decide between his mom and the Federation, but
Yeah.
if he can
Yeah.
have both, or if he's
and he kind of does get it all here by the end, right? Where he can spend the summer with his mother, but then come back to school, right? Anyway, so Terima takes off the inhibitor, and she's ready to go full Betazoid power here, not holding back. She's gonna see if she can find Caleb's mom. So we get
You know
the
what that means, though?
What?
She has her abilities inhibited. So season 2, there needs to be a wacky Beta Z episode where something happens. She has a dream, and everyone turned into a fairy tale something.
Well, like it would be interesting if they made her more. We just covered that episode on Tin Man. Like I can't remember the name of the character off the top of my head, but Tam Albram, the like if she was like this Betazoid who couldn't tune out all of the psychic like noise and all the emotions, and that was overwhelming. I think that would be more interesting than, I guess, her just being tortured by the fact that she's afraid of, I guess, killing her people or hurting people with her powers, which I get is a thing you don't want to do too. But but sometimes like Caleb saying like, why not embrace it? Why not use your power? Like whatever, I think is probably what she needs to hear. Anyway, then back at the they're tracking down, they're finding her, and they're able to guide Remy how to plug this into coordinates. I don't know. If you recall, this isn't canon. Like if you remember, Deanna Troy was helping Worf find where Shinzon's cloaked ship was in Nemesis, with using her Betazoid power. So there is a precedent for it. Anyway, they find her, and then there's a big moment. And, okay, we're gonna go, and thank you, and blah blah blah. Here with Terima and Caleb, and then they're working on the algorithm, and they're going here. They're going to warp, and heading off to the to try to save the day. So they get to this gas giant, and they are able to avoid the sensors for a bit. Like, you know,
That
all this
sequence was awesome.
this all looked amazing. Like, this is why we have to wait a year and a half for a season to come out, is so that these sequences will look good. So worth it, Jaemeel?
Don't put me in that position. Look, it's a beautiful sequence. I would rather more Trek than just
Then just like it having to look like a movie all the time.
show me a picture.
Yeah, or tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm amazed on Next Gen where they're just like they just tell us what happens outside and we don't see it at all. You know, like there's been all this battling going on. And I'm like, okay.
I'm a
if
big
this was
fan
on,
of the. Go ahead, Ashley.
if that was on TNG, you would have just seen the gas on the view screen.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe, you know, depending on how much money they had left over.
I'm still a fan of the Enterprise or any ship coming out of the gas, like giants and things.
It looked great. It looked great. Like, for sure. It looked amazing. So it's the finale.
Even back to Wrath of Khan, like when the, you know.
Yeah, it reminded me of that too. Meanwhile, the finale Raw are doing their thing. This Nus Braka. Is this where I think this is the part then where Nahla says, like, what about the guy you killed? You know, do you want to know what his name was? I forget his name, but you know, he had 4 kids. Huh? He had a braid.
A long braid.
And he was born in Hawaii.
He was born in Hawaii, just like Ransom, you know.
That's right.
And all of the rest, you know, and even when when she's talking about this guy, it's almost like Nus Braka feels even a little bad about it. Like he's like, well, he drew his gun and then I had to kill him, you know. But did anyone else feel that? Did Nus Braka feel a little bit of remorse for having killed this guy? Because that did surprise me a bit if it was the case.
I think it was all show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did he do that for the sake of Mrs. Mirror? Maybe the TV cameras, maybe because he's trying to convince Caleb's mom, right? More than anything, you know, and keep her on his side because he's decided to make her the juror of this judge.
Yeah, but he's also got to keep all of his allies on his side too. So
yeah,
now she's outing him for all of his, you know, she's showing the Epstein list.
She's showing the Epstein list.
She's outing him for all the bad things he's done in front of his allies.
Yes.
And he's trying to play it off.
And Caleb is watching all this along with the crew of Athena. They're close enough to watch the Venari World News Network signal. And Caleb's listening to things his mother is saying. And ultimately his mother decides that they are guilty. Like Nahla is guilty and the Federation is guilty.
Do you agree?
No.
Based on the evidence provided, do you agree?
I do not.
Okay.
Do you?
I mean,
I don't think there was any defense that was mounted up until that point.
right.
Well,
That's
no.
why.
Well, she's like, you did kill a guy. What is the accusation that the Federation is corrupt? The Federation is evil? Like, you know.
But all the rebuttals were left until the latter part after the after basically the not sentencing, but the verdict was given.
Yeah, and then she fought back.
Yeah.
And then she's like, blah, blah, blah. You know, but she also was like, I feel really bad about what happened, that you were sent away, that, you know, maybe the sentence she got was a raw deal.
Which is,
or was it? I don't know. Like, depends on how do you everyone else feel like.
But is that enough?
Well,
that's nothing. I feel bad. Okay, well,
what do you want? Like, what would be sufficient?
Well, she responded afterwards, right? She responded afterwards, but during up until the verdict, there was basically no rebuttal outside of, "Hey, I'm really sorry about that."
Well, she says, I resigned in protest, but not till after, says Caleb's mom. Like, she's like, no, you like, yeah, you felt bad and then went and be a teacher and everything else. And that's part of Nus Braka's case against her. But
yeah, but this is the problem with, like, I mean, it's we're not putting Aki on trial. You're putting the Federation on trial, and she's just forced to answer for all the crimes, right? And some anger and some, but it's a bigger thing. Like, it's like Picard being on trial for the crimes of humanity, or it's not necessarily the person.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'd be like putting a random person on trial for the crimes of the United States or whatever, any country.
It doesn't have to be random. We could narrow it down to.
We could narrow it down to an analog that would fit Nahla Aki, but
them putting the Federation on trial is sure. Like, I can buy some of that stuff because we've seen in the past where the Federation has made bad decisions and it's led to bad things. Like when you boil it down with the Dominion Wars in Deep Space Nine, the Federation was wrong in the beginning. They were wrong. They were asked to stay in space that wasn't theirs, and they were like, "No, we're explorers. We're just going to keep going." So, like, they have some history of some stuff that's not great. Mm-hmm. But for this, I don't feel like where they were like, "Oh, you resigned, but not till after." But she did nothing wrong in that case because she did help out. Like, she was like a co-conspirator for this thing that happened on the ship of them like invading the ship and taking the supplies and everything. She wasn't innocent. So her putting her in jail wasn't bad.
And
she was doing her job.
Rightly
so, because she wasn't innocent.
Do any mothers of young children who are convicted of serious crimes get to keep their children in jail?
No,
I don't think so.
The children's go into foster care or with family. Like, they don't.
But that's what they seem to indicate would have been right. Or I don't know. I'm confused by it.
The innocent one in this is Caleb. Why would he go to jail? And why would she just go to like rehab or like whatever? Sure, she can say she was tricked into it, but I could say I was tricked into murder tomorrow and I would still get sent to jail.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. So I was like, okay, like I was not on the I was on the side of Nahla in this whole thing. I'm like, okay, like what would have been correct for her to do, like back when the whole situation started, like in 15 years prior.
Nothing. She did exactly right. Hey, look at that title again. That sort of the subheadline.
Okay, so this is the part where Caleb comes and confronts Nus Braka, and he's here now for the trial with his mother and Nahla. It says Venari Raw leader Nus Braka hailed as hero as he holds the Federation on trial.
No, the sub one, the little one.
Oh, in quotes, I know him well.
But
you mean before that? Oh,
Vance aide in shocking expose. I know him well. He's pure evil, claims former Vance aide.
Is that Michael Chan?
That's Lieutenant Chan.
He was the former aide of
Admiral
Vance.
That's right.
So I don't
know. That's headcanon now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so more Caleb here and Nus Braka.
Michael on TikTok in uniform saying that.
Yeah, I said he's the secret source of Venari Raw. Anyway, Caleb's here, and he's kind of buying time for Sam is part of is why he's here too. But he's also, trying to help Nahla and his mother, and Sam's trying to bake the cake or whatever metaphor she uses, making a pineapple upside down cake. And Caleb explains that he found a home at Starfleet Academy and that these are his friends and that they're not all so bad and everything. Some of these prejudices you have, Mom, are not quite correct. Is there anything else?
Himself.
He found himself. He could be happy. He could laugh now. He could be like himself, and what Mom's good.
People were talking about like ugly crying 2 episodes ago or 3 episodes ago, whenever that was. This scene was like when he said, I laughed more in the last year than my whole life. He's a kid.
Yeah.
That was a very powerful line, I thought.
Right. And then
did you ugly cry, Adam?
No, I didn't ugly cry, but I did tear up a bit, I gotta say.
Close.
Yeah. And he's a good
as well. It was an ugly cry, sure.
I didn't get my montage.
No montage.
No montage. It's not a
Maybe
heist.
next season.
So-
Maybe.
When he was talking, there should have been a montage of memories.
Montage of him with his friends, just like I said I wanted last week.
That would have been nice. Yeah. Anyway, then even Tarima hears Caleb say these things, and she comes around. I think he even apologizes for some of the things he said, awful things he said, and I think that even Genesis
indirectly.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
even Genesis seems to have a reaction here, like,
It
well,
was the only way Genesis would listen to him.
Sure.
right.
So he slipped it in there because she said earlier, save it. And now he gets to announce it to everyone on camera. I said mean things to my friends and I'm really sorry.
Brilliant move, Caleb.
I want in season 2 a person that we've never met go up to Caleb and say, "I appreciate your apology," and he's like, "I don't know who you are."
That would be nice.
You were mean to me in the first class we had together.
Yeah, don't you remember? Yeah. So anyway, he has a nice little heartwarming speech here, but Nahla's already been convicted in this little trial. But I think this is where eventually Nahla will ask, like, Caleb, did you take a class in exochemistry? And what happens to this particular element, which is the mining thing?
Like
Stradium. Yeah, that Nus Braka, that was like the element that Nus Braka's family was mining on the colony he grew up on. And what happens when it gets ignited and it turns red?
Yeah, what color is it? And
what color are Federation weapons? Green or blue? At least for the last few hundred years. They used to be orange, but no longer. Anyway, so this kind of exposes that Nus Braka's whole worldview is a lie, and his father actually kind of set his own atmosphere on fire when he shot that little rocket at them, and it's not the Federation's fault, and so blah blah blah. But he says this is a dirty lie. How dare you say these things about
propaganda?
Propaganda.
even if the Federation fired at the planet,
Mm-hmm.
it would have been in retaliation if he fired first.
Right, but like
So,
what
again,
damage would it have
still-
done?
Right, but you're firing at someone, they have every right to fire back. Like, sorry, but
Yeah, well, I think what they really should have done is try to help them a little bit with some food or something. That would have been, but anyway,
I feel like they would have gotten there eventually, but it's triage.
yeah, it's
And
triage. Yeah,
it's triage. There was planets that were in the emergency room for heart attacks and strokes, and they
Mhm.
had a broken toe.
yeah, I think you're right about that too. Anyway, so this kind of makes Nus Braka look really foolish to the whole Venari Ral Council of Doom here, and they all tune out. Although they have some fancy outfits, I gotta say.
Yeah, I love some of the costumes in this episode.
We need a separate Heather breakdown, maybe.
We do. I'll be like, "What do you think of this fur dress thing this guy's got going on?" You should really love it. Anyway, so they're checking out here on Paul Giamatti. They're like, "See you never. We're out on your little minefield scheme." And their holograms disappear. Meanwhile, Sam is, I guess, she's working her algorithm magic and getting ready to take this out. God. I like this headline. Nus Braka holds the trial of the century aboard the Athena, a gaudy treasure of the pompous Federation.
I love Tyrant-in-Chief Vance.
Yeah, Tyrant-in-Chief. Federation President Rillick fails to approve his naval aggression. Okay. So Nus Braka's had enough. He's got to push the button and ignite the minefield and wreak havoc and let slip the dogs of war. But Sam she's done it just in time. She's disabled all the Omega-47 mines, and it doesn't work. And he, doesn't know what nothing happens. All his people have left, and I think the Starfleet like shows up here like 10 seconds later.
Into Picard when they all warped in there.
Yeah. It was kind of like the end. Was that Picard season 1? I think when Riker and the whole fleet showed up.
Yes.
Anyway, Man, I hate these ships. Anyway,
Jeez.
so Admiral Vance is here. He's here to save the day. The cavalry has come, and it's a little bit of a celebration amongst the crew. They're all happy, and even Jet Reno gets a big hug from Sam. Maybe a little over the top. Nus Braka now arrested by the Starfleet. Yeah, Starfleet beams in, I think, here. Yeah. And then they're safe. Oh, yeah. So we got the punch from Nahla. No, not from Nahla. From Caleb's mom first, which he spits out a tooth on. You call that a punch? And then Holly Hunter gives us a really good punch here. She really puts him down. Nus Braka. He had that coming for a while. But I thought it was interesting, like, how often, like, almost all Star Trek villains die in some kind of grand explosion or battle or something. Like, very few of them just go to jail.
Well, then he can come out of jail.
Yep.
Yeah. So they can bring this character back, I guess, right? They're not putting Nus Braka away forever. So anyway, Caleb and his mom together, and then there's the transition.
Khan didn't go to jail. Khan went in hyperspace or sleep.
Yeah, and how'd that go?
Not so good.
Yeah. So
Mud?
Harry Mudd. Well, he was never a villain, really. Like, he was a lovable rogue, if you will. Anyway, the Athena, I guess, gets put back together. The rest. I do like this ship, whatever it is, over here for the record, because you know why? Because it's all attached.
They look very Star Wars kind of.
They
like
do
that.
those ones, yeah.
Yeah, but they're all attached, so it's good.
And the other ones, they're like on the one there on the left. This looks like a phaser.
What the hell is this ship with the big hole in the middle of it?
Don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe it's missing its.
It's just missing. It's a big donut hole. That's how it
It's
goes.
detached. That's just the battle section.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Must
so
have kids on board, Ashley.
They left the kids back in Federation space.
That's right.
we get the final scene, if you will, of the episode. Nahla back, not in her civvies, no shoes. We got Caleb back in uniform, wearing his calico jacket, going around
That
the academy.
they still currently don't sell.
They never do the right things. Like, they're terrible at all the stuff
Merchandising?
that I want to buy. They never merchandise.
Yeah, I would buy
saw
that
this
jet.
somewhere for sale. I'll
The
find
jacket?
it. Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
jacket.
It looks pretty good. I would get one of these.
I want the hoodie. The hoodie, I am invested in.
The hoodie looks
getting
good,
somebody
too.
To make me a
Yeah.
hoodie.
But I like the War College hoodie better. I think I'd go for that one. Anyway, so Caleb's been invited to like a fancy dinner with the president, and he's going to have to learn how to use all the different forks or something. And etiquette's not taught till second year, which might be changed in the curriculum moving forward. Anyway, Caleb's mom is here, and I guess they're in orbit over Beta Z right now, so they're going to everyone's kind of dispersing for the summer until the second year kicks in.
They got that ship fixed up pretty fast.
Isn't Caleb's mom technically a fugitive? Well, she might have gotten a pardon for maybe.
For
I don't know.
what? She didn't really do anything.
She escaped from
punched-
jail.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well,
What's
from
pardon for?
Nus Braka broke her out of jail, so she probably I don't think she's like, "Hey, please, sir, take me with you." She immediately fled from him as well.
Yeah, so
Supposedly.
fugitive.
Supposedly.
Yeah. But she served 15 years. It's fine.
Time served.
I feel like that. I think that's a good sentence for what she did. I feel like she's paid her debt, but but apparently they were letting her out. She wasn't like the murderer. She was an accessory and 15. I don't know. She didn't even have a lawyer back then, so she could say, "Where was my due process? Where was my representation?"
I mean, Braka was correct that they never had a real trial.
That's
They
true.
just had a sentencing.
They just had the sentencing, like it was just kind of like a military tribunal. Not even that, really. Anyway, so they're the mom and Caleb, they're going to go off together here, and she's hoping that he doesn't want to come back to Starfleet, but she knows he will. And she's coming around on her feelings on the Federation and Starfleet a little bit. As they kind of go off here, and we get our credits. I guess there's this final moment here with the main crew cadets looking out the window, and his family, his house,
Cadets log.
Yeah, we got some hand holding here between Laura Thok and Jet Reno. Although Jet Reno has to initiate it, Laura Thok is a little hard to come along. And yeah, I guess a moment here with Sam and the doctor. Caleb's got his girlfriend. The cadets are together. They're looking out the window. It's all coming together. We got our team. And all these other cadets, we don't want to know them. So they're not important. Although I do want to know what's going on with...
Orange-haired guy is back.
Orange-haired Lego man. Who is he? Must know. Must have a dedicated episode, season 2. I demand it.
I need to know what alien that is.
Yeah, with his dark eyes and everything else. Anyway, and I was also confused about the geography or like the layout of the interior. Like if this is like the at the bottom of the stairwell, like where were they having the trial earlier? That's in the outer section. Like that part I was a little confused with because it seems like
in the atrium.
But isn't the atrium part of this center section?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're right. I don't know.
Oh.
Me either. Anyway, so then we get kind of a cool credit sequence. Now, if anything should tell us what year it is, that the graduating class of 3196, presumably this is Caleb's class. So they have to start in 3192, right? It's a 4-year program. Hopefully that will solve.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. Anyway, but Nahla Aki would be part of the class of 3196, but that's okay. This is just the credits. We get pictures of the real life actors as youngsters here. Holly Hunter, we get Sandra. Not what's his name?
Sandra Rasta.
Sandra Rasta.
Sandra Rasta. Yeah.
Sandra Rasta. The guy who plays Jaden. I guess they say his name here. Kareem Diane, right? Got Carice Brooks. Man, she really looks the same back then. She does now. Yeah. Like, look at the face. It's like exactly the same.
You see that? Wait, go back. President and founder of the Emperors of the Captain Cisco fan club.
Of the captains. Mike, most likely to outlive you all. Oops, that was mean. Was that just mean? Or just a fact? Darum Remy, winner of the 3196 Prince for a Day contest. It was less than 45 minutes, but still. Most likely to commission him a nude of himself. Best sprig break, Riseification on planet Darum. George Hawkins. Got Genesis here, played by Bella Shepherd. Hers says, I'm too tired to sleep. Secret skill, party DJ. Most likely to rip an Achilles and never know. Okay. I think you'll know. Just ask that Kyle on Survivor, 50. Then you got Zoe Steiner, who's Tarima. Ocam, you're thinking too loud. Most likely to accidentally lose Caleb in an alternate universe during a long weekend. Personal motto, 3-day weekends are too long. That's a personal motto? Okay.
People are weird.
We got a young Oded Fair here, Charles Vance himself. Don't call me Vancy Pants. I'm just a regular guy. Well, there you have it, everyone. Nova Squadron desired nickname Hellraiser. Nova Squadron actual nickname Vancy Pants.
That's cute.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, and then got Gina Yasher, who plays Laura Thok. The dance floor is my battlefield. The kitchen is my dance floor. Most proud of defenestrating 3 opponents at a Tongo tournament. Most likely to be the first one to show up at a party, especially if she wasn't invited. There you go. And so the voice of the computer, Britt Marling, she gets a card here. What jackass keeps programming me to helium? If I weren't a ship, I would be a tricorder. they have it so easy. Number one fear, laryngitis. That's fair. We got Stephen Colbert, the digital dean of students, always going on about Talaxian fur flies.
The picture's amazing.
It's a good picture. In another life, would be wearing a jaunty chapeau, most likely to have an existential crisis. Number one wish, laryngitis. And Jet Reno is played by Tig Notaro here. Number one pet peeve, why do I come after the two voices? wants to be remembered as I don't leave me alone. Take your questions and go away. And Robert Picardo, who says biggest fear, a nickname. In another life would be the actor. Most proud of Sam.
Oh.
And even Tatil Maslany got thrown in here. Nisha Mir. Another life would be there are no other lives. Make this one count. Most likely to show up for parents' weekend, a weekend early, and pretend she did it on purpose. Most proud of. Do you really have to ask? There you go.
Yeah.
And Paul Giamatti gets his card here.
Paul Giamatti was
As a kid, yes. I'm actually a marshmallow on the inside. Would you be my graham crackers? I don't know. That's a big ask there, Paul Giamatti. Most likely to release an acoustic folk album, songs in the key of Braka. Biggest wish, a do-over, and also a makeover. And that is the final screenshot of the episode. Great job, everyone. So, is that? Oh, is that your dog? Yeah, I was like,
That's my dog. She's like, it's bedtime. What are we doing?
yeah, let's go to bed. Well, we need to wrap this up. I don't know if there's any trivia to speak of, Adam.
Got a couple things.
Okay, well,
So just like following in the classic Trek trope of trial scenes, this is like you think of Measure of a Man, court martial, drumhead, and even far beyond the stars, we've had some pretty good court scenes, and this was a pretty good one as well.
was this was meant to be like that?
Well, they're comparing it. This is early fun facts, Dave.
Early fun. Okay, you're right. This is on the fly. I can't question the facts, so
Yeah.
I accept them all.
Omega 47 is a deep cut reference to. Do anybody know? The Omega
Number 47?
molecule
Number
from
47.
Voyager.
I
That
tune out.
episode-
I
that
always think
introduced
of
the
the
Well,
Omega
I know the reference to Omega, but like the 47 number specifically, of course, is always.
Yeah.
Hold on here. Pardon me. The abandoned. Sorry, I'm just coming that list here. Oh, this is the final. This is the first real command moment for the cadets. You guys called it out earlier, but it was they were forced to operate independently without senior officers, and they finally acted as a team rather than arguing the whole time.
Yeah, that was nice.
The power of friendship.
Mm-hmm.
The episode really mirrors the pilot very well, because it bookended Aki's decisions in the beginning and came out with consequences essentially, and it really finally closed the loop between of the Braka's vendetta. So that's done now, but I really believe he's coming back sometime, even though he hasn't confirmed anything apparently.
That's season 3. If it comes
If
back.
they pay him, he'll come back.
Oh,
He was
very-
apparently the highest paid on this whole season by quite a bit.
Well,
So.
he's the biggest star.
And he's only in like 3 episodes, right? So, but that's all good.
And then, in today's real world, which is kind of funny because Dave and I, we talked about Jaemeel at the beginning. We were talking about how this season was completed just after Trump was elected, but it's really, really poignant to today, what's going on today, So
Can I play the clip again?
Yes.
sure.
So the question I'd ask to all these people watching, is this the person you want to follow into the future? An angry child with his finger on the trigger whose entire worldview is based on a lie.
Do you? Some
never
seem
have.
to.
In this episode, Braka uses public broadcast to rally support by painting himself like the only one willing to tell the truth about the Federation.
Mm.
You know.
Yes. Well, how noble of him.
Oh yes. So
Yes.
with that, I'll leave it there. But before we get to fun facts, Dave, I mean, you know, you were curling for a lot of this, and like again, I like to call it Chris for doing such a great job. But also, you've got some great comments, and this was actually a late night for people watching us. But EGR87R was with us almost the whole time and made some great comments along the way as well.
Yes, thank you, EJR, and to everyone else who commented. Well, K70 as well tonight. British, we approve. All right. Well, thank you, Adam, for the fun facts. They were very sexy and very factual. And with that said, it's time for the ratings. I don't have a sound, but I should. Okay, ratings. Chris already, Worldmind, wherever you are, gave this a 9.5. So that's where we're starting at, everyone. I'm going to work left to right. No, right to left. So let's start with Adam.
I'm giving this is a good. It was good 9. I'm giving this a 9. I liked it. Good
9.
I feel good about getting into season 2 whenever it comes out in 2029 or so.
Yeah, when it presumably this decade, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then okay, Jody not with us. Allison, you're up.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8.5. There were still a few things like I just felt like I'm probably judging it by its entire season, and that like things were like kind of rushed through. But it was still a really enjoyable episode.
Yeah, with you, Ashley.
I'm with Allison. 8.5. Definitely, there were some things I think that they could have added that would have brought that up. I probably would have given it a 9.5, except that they lost an entire point for that stupid line that Genesis said while sitting in the captain's chair.
Gotta pee. We gotta, what are you gonna do? Okay, Jaemeel.
I'm giving this a 9.
Okay,
I like this episode a lot. Didn't get emotional, but I did. I felt really good about this episode and the direction of the series.
Yeah, and finally for me, I'm an 8.5 as well. Like it wasn't my favorite episode of the season, but I think it was completely serviceable. It was a decent finale. You know, I was kind of like after it was over, I was like, well, did I want more action or not, or did I want? I guess what I'm often left wanting more of is more of like the science of it all. They gave us a bit of that in this episode, but like, you know, what Tarima does and what Sam does, like they even one point they refer to it as magic, and it does kind of feel like magic more than it feels like, you know, like they're actually doing science.
I think they're so far out there, like in like we're actually real science fiction now. Like again,
yeah.
Like you go back to Next Gen and what they were doing. They're playing with iPads for crying out loud and cell phones.
Yeah,
right, exactly. And
now the one iPad per task, like they couldn't even put.
Yeah, they couldn't conceptualize this idea that I could have everything on one pad. No way. That could never happen.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're averaging an 8.8 tonight for this finale, just 1 point below last week's
You know
episode.
Jody's going to put a 10, so it's going to bump it straight.
Jody will not give a 10. You know, he'll probably give an 8 or something. This right now with 311 votes. This has a 7.2 on IMDb, which I guess is good for IMDb.
It's good for IMDb. Show on IMDb.
Yeah.
Let's check last week's. Did it come up? I'll just give that a go. Here, hold on.
Yeah, it was at 7.2 last week. Where is it this week? I can tell you by just clicking this button. It's now down to 6.9. Whoops. Okay.
Wow.
1,200 votes.
Yeah. Anyway, I saw Sean Ferrick put out like a post the other day saying there's like now people being hired to be like hate writers for this show. Apparently,
wouldn't surprise me if
no.
I know you don't follow wrestling, but it was just revealed that one of the videos for a championship match that happened recently was found that someone paid bots to purposely dislike a video so that there was a negative view on the person winning.
Yeah, there's definitely that kind of stuff going on, and I'm not here for any of that. But I try to take the IMDb just so I have some kind of a gauge on what people are thinking. Anyway, so overall, we averaged a 7.1 for season 1. out of 10. I think that's decent. I know it would be nicer if it was higher, but I think that, I think we all felt like there were some ups and downs this season. We disagree on what those ups and downs are, but so I think
Can make everyone happy.
Can make everyone happy. I think that this cast, like I said, I think this cast has a lot of potential. I think that they can do more with it. But there are some choices I would like to see changed, and whatever. I got to get over some of this 32nd century stuff. But anyway, all to say that is the conclusion for our ratings for this season. So good job, everyone. Thanks to everyone who was here every week, or almost every week. I can't say that for myself, but
and welcome to Allison.
Welcome, Allison.
Yeah, thank you.
Heather did us a real solid bringing you into the fold. So we're really appreciative. Thank you for being with us. We hope you will join us another podcast, not just Starfleet Academy. And speaking of which, check out all our other great episodes out there, all our great podcasts. We're doing Next Generation. We might move Next Generation soon, probably back to Thursdays eventually, because but first, we're still on Mondays, and this Monday night we will be on Menage a Troy is the next episode we're covering, season 3, episode 24. Look out for that.
Watch that and then listen to our radio theater of that episode.
Yes, that was a good one. Yeah, I think did I play a Ferengi? I think I played a Ferengi. Yeah, anyway, go back and have a listen to that. Of course, we are coming back for All Mankind. Season 5 is coming soon. The Apple TV show about astronauts. And I think it's March 27th is when this show comes back. And we are going to be, when that comes back, that will basically probably take the Monday night, and then we'll probably move next gen to Thursdays at that point. So look out for that. Also, here's a picture of Joel Kinnaman in really old age makeup. So there you go. Yeah. And with all that said, I think we can sign off for tonight. Check out our Super Mater Brothers podcast as well, Survivor, if you're into Survivor 50, which Adam's not, but every week I try to get him into it. You can listen to that. Jaemeel,
I'd have to watch 50 seasons to catch up.
You don't have to watch all 50 seasons. You can start fresh right now. So look out for that. Here he is. Look at that man. Is he not surprised? Sure. All right.
Well, he could be the director of the FBI with those eyes.
Yes, he could. There's some eyes. All right. Well, I think
after this episode, right?
Yeah. It's all over. And with all that said, I think we'll leave you with a Jet Reno quote to close out the podcast. Thanks to everyone, and get to sleep with that dog there, Allison, because I think she really needs it. All right. See you next time, everyone.
As far as final exams go, this one is a doozy. If you pass, we live. If you fail, we're all dead.
No problem.
Right. Good talk. Now show me pretty streaks of light.
Like it. See it.
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, did you see this one? And take a peek into the darkness with Heard Noise, Must Investigate with Michael Chan. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.